y'all just sit there and laugh at shit like that? That's not even like, how is that funny to you? Hannah H, thanks so much again for the super chat. Yep, we never address it. Read article How a Traumatized America Finds Relief in Hate by Gabor Mate. Oh, Aaron Mate's dead. Yeah, I will read that. I will read that. I will read that. Appreciate you again for the super chat. Does Venezuela need the U.S. more? Or does the U.S. need Venezuela more? Imperialism is parasitic. Yeah. Yeah, we need them as a boogeyman, right? We need them and it's this is what I always say about America and our issues. You know, when you talk about therapy and everything, every issue we have and every like thing we say we don't like about someone else or another country, all projection. All of it. It's all projection. Oh, you know, Venezuela, they don't have good elections. Their elections are like rigged. I mean, Mike Bloomberg literally bought his way because he's a billionaire into a primary. He almost bought his way into a position of power, and essentially that's what politicians do anyway. How are our elections so sacred? How are they so sacred when the majority of people can vote for one person, but the other person wins? If that happened in any other country, we try and go invade them because they say, you know, they don't have democracy. Oh, they have people, you know, eating food out of dumpsters. They have bread lines. Yo, did you see the 1,000 car long bread line in Texas? Do you see all the homeless people ostensibly eating food where they can find it in LA, all over in New York City, and every single major city, Chicago? Like everything is projection, right? Oh, North Korea spends so much money on their military. They don't even take care of their people. Their people are starving. And ours aren't. And we don't spend too much money on our military. You tell me a single issue where we don't. Look, I need to get a charging case for my power beats because I don't like these and they never stay in my ear. But tell me an issue that where we say like, oh, this other country does this bad, whatever. They don't have enough freedom. Oh, you have freedom? You mean the freedom to have to work 2 jobs just to barely scrape by and not even have more than $400, $500 left over to, I don't know, just enjoy your life other than paying your rent and just your basic necessities? How much freedom do we have? You have the freedom to buy 4 or 5 different name brand cereals. Oh, they actually are all produced by the literal same company. There's no freedom of information. Every single news agency or news, you know, production is owned by like 5 or 6 different companies. It's literally all projection, all of it. All those issues we say other countries have, we have those issues and probably worse in this country. The like the funniest thing I heard, I think during COVID, was like the America is literally a third world country with Gucci flip flops on. Tell me how that's wrong. Tell me how that's wrong. Okay, let's get into I think I missed the super chat. I don't want to miss any this time around. Oh, I think I didn't. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. So if you're not familiar, yesterday, Steven Crowder did a slight racism. No, it wasn't a slight racism. It was really, really, really blatant and overt racism. And he thought he was being funny. And when you're, to me, I don't really think can be a such thing as a right wing comedian. And it's because like if you're supporting, you know, obviously people falsely think the Democratic Party, you know, supports working class people, you know, and they do to a marginally better extent than the Republicans, but not nearly enough, right? But if you're literally, you know, supporting and propping up, and you're a right wing comedian, propping up, you know, the establishment of the Republican Party, which only, you know, legislates for the wealthy, then how can you be a comedian? Because when you're a comedian, you punch up, right? That's why it's funny. Like that's why you're funny, because you're punching up at the powerful, you know, and saying relatable shit to people, to the masses that can agree with you, right? And so like how are you even a right wing comedian? I don't know. But you know, he tried his hand at a comedy and it came out as a racism, as just him being completely racist. So let's watch that. And there's just so many ways to just break down like every single point they make is so flawed too. Like even when they're talking about policy, it's just completely flawed. Crowder isn't a comedian. Well, he thinks he is. Of course he's not, but he thinks he is.
But they did. And 5.2 billion are being allocated exclusively for colored farmers. Farmers of color. Farmers of color. Roll the tape.
We begin today's show.
You see how you see how he just tried to slip in just a complete racist trope. Color farmers. Farmers of color. Farmers of color. Oops. I accidentally said colored farmers. That was an accident. I meant to say farmers of color because that's PC and that's right. Bruh, like one, like, how do you even think that's funny? Two, it's really not that hard not to say that. Obviously, saying colored has a lot of roots in very, very racist rhetoric and policy and everything. I mean, you're talking about segregation, colored, whites only, like, come on. And so we've gotten to a point where, 50 years past the civil rights movement, we still have idiots like that still want to go, and signal to his white supremacist, white nationalist base. Oh, colored farmers. Oh, farmers of color. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like, bro, that's not funny. Like who thinks that's funny? And you're around people that think that's funny. Like, what? Y'all don't know comedy at all. And like, how? Like, y'all just sit there and laugh at shit like that? That's not even like. How is that funny to you? Like, I cringe when you say it, let alone Crowder. Literally. Exactly.
Looking at a major provision in
and he was talking about, black farmers and I think Department of Agriculture allocating a certain amount of money towards, black farmers exclusively. And we'll find out later on in this clip, and I'll talk more about that.
President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill that aims to address decades of discrimination against Black, Hispanic, Native American, and Asian American farmers who've historically been excluded from government agricultural programs. The American Rescue Plan sets aside 10.4.
He says, do you have receipts on that? Yes. There's this thing called Google, and there's plenty of receipts there, because even under the Obama administration, which is why he's having to do this, Biden, particularly because he picked Tom Vilsack, who was someone that black farmers did not want as I think it's the Department of Agriculture head. There was calls from black farmers for him not to be, a part of the administration, because during the Obama years, black farmers received, I think it was like less than 5% of the funds, the subsidies that were given out by the Department of Agriculture in the Obama administration. So yes, there's plenty of receipts on that. Why don't you just, I don't know, look it up, idiot? Like, and are you trying to act surprised like black business owners in general and black farmers are not excluded, miss out on funds from the federal government at a disproportionate rate? That's easily researched, easily discoverable. Your dumbass just doesn't want to actually take the extra effort and look outside your own worldview. And just the white people that you hang around, the, racist white folks you obviously hang around and laugh at this shit about. It's easily discoverable. You just don't want to see it.
$4 billion.
And it's so funny that they're always like, oh, the liberals are the snowflakes. They're the snowflakes. They always get hurt by everything. Bruh, $5 billion, which doesn't even come close to making up for, the slights that have been given to these communities, especially minority farmers, as opposed to white farmers. Someone says black farmers and their descendants are still owed reparations. Fact. He's trying to act like this isn't a phenomenon, like this isn't something that happens. It's funny to racists. It's funny to racists like a kid thinks saying a swear word is funny. Exactly. Oh, hold on. Let me come back. I'll get it back up.
$1 for agriculture support and allocates about half the funds to farmers of color who are, quote, subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice because of their identity as members of a group.
He says, what? racism exists in America? Like, this dude went to a time warp to, like, I don't know. When did racism not exist in America? Like, when they actually first landed? Well, no, because then they were still being racist towards the Native Americans. This man's like, what? Racism exists? Yeah, buddy. If you hang around, I don't know, anyone that's not white and ask them their experience in this country, you'd probably find that out. Rip racism 2016 and 2020, literally. He said, what? Can you believe he reacted? What? Fucking idiots.
Quote. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights confirmed as long ago as 1960.
And look, I'll always say I'll talk to anybody, Republicans, anybody, libertarian, whoever. But when it comes to people that are just openly, overtly racist and white supremacists, I don't know if we're going to be talking a whole lot.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture discriminated against Black farmers, but little was done to address the problem.
100 years ago?
Oh, so now he don't even know math. Now she said 1960s. He said 100 years ago? This man's time is all messed up. That was 50 years ago. And that's not that long, considering my grandparents were, young during that. And there's people that were, in their 20s during that still alive. Like 100 years ago, we're acting like we have to, make up for things that were done 100 years ago. Yeah, there's a lot of making up to do for the shit that's been done the past 400 years. It's literally some people's parents. Yeah, exactly. So it's not 100 years ago. Stop being a dumbass and acting like that's so long ago and that there's nothing that still needs to be done because of that.
Yeah, most happy about the new policy. These people. So yeah, I'm gonna buy a plow, man.
I'm gonna plant that corn.
Go get a John Deere. Barack Obama, mother. I'm the president of plowing that ass. You.
I thought the last.
Bro, look at him. What a fucking depressing human being. What a depressing, sad excuse for a human being this person is. Yeah, it's so cringy. It's not funny. Your impersonations suck. Okay? Your impersonations suck. And the fact that you think this is some type of like someone like myself is not even gonna get offended by this, like for real. I'm really just I'm gonna be upset, of course, but I'm just gonna laugh at it because it's dumb. It's not funny. It's outdated. Your comedy routine is outdated by like 20 years, buddy. So, keep trying. Like it's not working very well for you, comedy wise, but I'm sure you're just getting a lot of money. He's probably just getting a lot of money from his, white nationalist, signaling to his white nationalist base to make sure he keeps them on so he can make money from it. 20 years, try at least 40. Yeah, I don't even look. I probably wasn't even alive when shit like that was actually funny. And it probably even it definitely shouldn't have been funny at the time. But come on.
The best thing they would want to do is be farmers. Wasn't that a big problem for hundreds of years?
Yeah.
Isn't that why Arsenio Hall called himself the urban man's Johnny Carson?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, this is next level racist. Like, this is next level. This man saying, oh, they're they want to be farmers still? Like, weren't they slaves picking cotton before? Like, why would they still want to be farmers? Like, has no historical knowledge of sharecroppers and, actually transitioning off slave plantations and how a lot of people still didn't have any money, didn't have anywhere to go, so just had to work the farm. And some people actually got to a point where they can own their own farm, and then they still get discriminated against by the government when it comes to subsidies, stuff that, white farmers have no problem getting access to. And he's like, oh, they still want to farm? Do you not want to eat? Do you not want to eat food? That's like when people are like making fun of fast food workers. Well, your ass is at the fast food restaurant. You're at the fast food restaurant getting the fast food. So why are you making fun of those people that are making you the food that you're enjoying? God, these people are idiot. Like, the fact that people listen to someone like this and actually think anything coming out of their mouth is worth a shit, really, to me, is astounding.
Oh, I don't know. Are people lining up out in the middle of cornfield, Iowa for new dunks?
How would you prove
Bro, he really tried to fit like every single racist trope in there. As if right now white people aren't wearing dunks and Air Force Ones at a higher clip than black people. It's the same thing they try and do with drugs. As if white people don't use and abuse drugs at the same clip as black people. This is not a, how many people you think out there spending $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 on shoes? I guarantee you it's not just black people.
This, by the way, like, how would you prove that you've been discriminated
against? You don't have to. You just
I didn't get.
Proportionally, we have a certain amount of farms in the country. Proportionally, we have that. We don't get the same proportional funds from the federal government as the white farmers do. Therefore, we are being discriminated against disproportionately. That's how you prove it, you fucking idiot. Bro, like this has to be a comedy skit, right? Or like a parody skit.
Get that loan, sir. You had no credit. Well, that should not have stopped me from getting the loan.
I planted a Hennessy tree, but it's not growing.
Bruh, this is like I'm actually laughing because of how cringe, outdated, and just like not funny this shit is. And they're just everything they're saying is just racist. Everything they're saying is racist. I planted a Hennessy tree. It's like anything that black people. Oh, hold on. We're acting like black people are the only race that have any type of alcohol issues. No, that's literally the entire country, and probably disproportionately white people anyway. And don't act like white people don't love drinking Hennessy too. I've been around a lot of white people that want to drink Hennessy just to feel like they're fitting in with black people.
Technically, it did grow, but that's
not a Chappelle show because I ain't laughing.
I
Literally,
put it on the ground.
I planted a VSOP XO tree. I'm getting in some niche esoteric cognac humor, motherfucker.
Don't white people just go to their neighborhoods and build urban farms and ruin their communities? Isn't that what white people
we're in Detroit? And turns out the soil content is a high level of meth.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, just another example where they have no fucking idea what they're talking about because white people use meth at a much higher clip than black people, proportionally. So there's your Crowder just being. I mean, I don't know much. Like I said, I don't know much about this guy, but it's Hennessy beer. No, it's a liquor. But I mean, you can't listen to him or go. He can't really go forward and not just be anything he says. I'm like, well, you're racist, so why would I listen to anything? Cognac. There you go. And funny enough, yesterday I released a video on my show. How is he not deplatformed? I don't know. People that are against war get deplatformed all the time. But if you spew racist bullshit, that's not even funny. I guess you can still have a show. But yesterday on my show, I mentioned that because I was talking about Candace Owens, right? We all know who Candace Owens is. And she went on Fox News and was talking about how WAP is going to be the, because they performed WAP at the Grammys, which, Ben Shapiro would say wet ass P word. And she was saying, how that's going to be the end of the collapse of the United States, right? And, I said is, look, Candace, I'm sure a lot of those people you're, in those circles with, have dinners with, get paid by. Once you're not in the room, I'm telling you, they be saying shit about you. They be saying stuff you probably wouldn't want to hear. And this, literally the next day, I'm sure she's had some type of, I mean, even if she, she's not, maybe she hasn't been on his show or I don't know, she hasn't talked to him, but she inhibits the same circles as these people. And the next day it comes out, what's happening? She's one of her right-wing personality whatever is doing the exact thing that I said. So It only took a day. It only took a day for me to be proven right. And if he's if he's saying this in front of a screen, just imagine what he's saying off screen. Just imagine what he's saying off screen. I'm not a fan of WAP, but right wing are not the right people to push that message. It's a song. It's a song. Like, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. How is YouTube censoring the left but not him? Mm-hmm. Yep. That's I don't know either.